Hey everybody, it's Eric from Sensory Dad. I know it's been a little bit since I checked in with you. We got back from vacation. Disney was, for the most part, great. The Sensory Pass worked really well. Kept us out of the long lines and stuff. Minor breakdowns. The one thing we didn't plan for was we had like ridiculous rain, and I'm talking like it raises an inch or two of below your feet coming up, almost flash flood type rain, and even with the drainage in the park, ended up being a freaking nightmare. It was really coming down so hard that all of our shoes and feet, basically from the knees down, were saturated. Problem is, we only took one pair of shoes per kid, per person, because it was, it's a relatively short trip, less than a week. So we didn't want to take a bunch of luggage. Well, that worked against us. The other thing that we ran into was Leo's socks, not knowing, exactly, what we were packing and everything readily available were like, 10 pairs of the new socks, which he's had a problem with because they haven't shrunken down and gotten into to fitting him perfectly yet. Well, of course, that's all we packed. The damn things had to kind of show him a lesson, which I posted a short video of his meltdown, and I really had to work through it with him. Just basically, how to get them fit right and how to get your shoes slipped on correctly to not jack up the socks. That's worked relatively well, and to the point now where he's wearing them at home. Funny story, after we get soaked by the rain, the first day we used a hair dryer and just kind of dried off our shoes or put them out on the deck. And the second day, there was just a surprise shower, nothing expected, and coming off a ride, so we didn't have time to prep or anything. We were on the Rise of the Resistance ride, and it was sunny and beautiful. Literally, after this like 5 minute ride or whatever, how long it is, we come off and it's a torrential downpour. Literally the worst rain I've seen in years, and so that's the second time we get soaked. So I get the bright idea. Well, we can just throw them in the dryer when we get back, and they had typical, Maytag dryers at the resort that we were at, and I went in and I put them in there, and I think you got an hour for like $3. So about 40 minutes or so, I figured I'd check on them because here at the house, if we ever try to wash and dry a pair of sneakers or something, you got to run it through a cycle probably like 2 times. Well, apparently these dryers are on like freaking steroids. So the dryer ends up literally melting and shrinking the freaking shoes to the point where the soles are falling off my daughter's shoes and my wife's shoes. Mine are so tight that I can barely get them on. Same with Leo's. It was just ridiculous. Hey, dogs. So luckily, as soon as we got them out of the dryer and that, we kind of pushed them back down. It's almost impossible to get off Disney property and try to find a shoe store, especially with the five of us, to try shoes on. So the shoes ended up holding up. That was the last day we were there. So kind of a Murphy Law thing. We get back to the house, and just a lot of breakdowns. And I know that this happens after any vacation, after we really shuck and jive the schedule so much so that it just destroys the fabric of any continuity of, you wake up at the same time, your meal times are the same, and our scheduling is just so thrown off after a vacation. I know we've got about a week of just trying to get Leo back on his normal, day to day. So I know there's going to be breakdowns. Well, it seemed to happen with all the kids, irregular sleep and everything like that. So they were like freaking cats and dogs, all the weekend back and everything. On top of that, like I said, Murphy's Law, cyber partial cyber learning starts this week. So I don't know what kind of genius came up with this idea, but now the kids are going to go to school on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of this week. and have remote home learning on Tuesday and Thursday. And then they flip the schedule next week to do Tuesday and Thursday, and then I teach them at home Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You kind of see the cubicles. I took our play mats that we have that I typically use outside with them or for a workout or tumbling and stuff. Bought them at Sam's Club for maybe $20. They come in like a pack of eight, like 2 foot by 2 foot mats. They've worked really well. So just Lego pieced them together, and that's how the kids are doing their cubicles now. So that teaching three of them at the same time, having to be online with all three of them for their lesson plans becomes challenging. So what my wife and I decided to do is I'm going to try to knock out the bulk of the lesson plans during the day, really attack the low hanging fruit and get as much done as I can. And then when she gets off work in the afternoon, we can kind of team up and get the rest of it completed. So that's really the ultimate plan there. Um, as far as getting back to schedule, we kind of tighten the reins and really be rigid on the bedtimes, on the meal times, and we're getting back into karate. We did quarantine for a while to make sure nobody had any COVID symptoms. So we're going to be back to karate. We're going to be back to therapies and our regular workouts. Today was the first day the kids did their workouts fully. We did half and half workouts over the weekend, just some regular training stuff. But all three of them did their wall climbs and push ups for the 22 challenge this morning. I ended up throwing out my freaking back. So I basically laid around with, some biofreeze and some aspirin and a leave all day. So it's been a rough couple of days for all of us, but we're getting through it. Just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know where we're at, and we're still plugging away. We've got some cool things coming up with the kids that we plan on doing. So make sure you subscribe to the page and stay tuned.